All right, YouTube, I see your little pop up. I'm gonna hit close. Aloha kako from Hawaii and from Te Moana Nui and the Pacific. Today is a day where for all my life, the missionaries have been promulgating a foreign God and a foreign interpretation of what God is. And I remember being raised as a Christian. And I remember all these other churches and their evangelizers who came here during a war and brought their religions here after running away from where they came from, only to overthrow Hawaii. Illegally, unlawfully, either way. Rules for thee, but not for me, which I find fascinating. Because on my journey for 31 years, I found myself on my knees relying on some white man in the sky to come save me, let alone any man. It was like women couldn't have this direct link to Kiakua because we had to have this link through a man that we married for these deities that what it looks like to me is the world is being unveiled with ancient knowledge that you don't have to wait for the publishing from the same people and the same groups of families that gave you the pedophile elite, which is fascinating to me. How we had things that were kapu for a reason, and that there was a system and a culture, maybe not even a religion, but just a spiritual connectivity of consciousness and behaviors. And it appears to me in my 44 years in the Gregorian calendar that most of the world doesn't even know how they got human trafficked by religion and the state, and how their money system ties the whole global elite's power together. And I often wonder why so many people claim Jesus and today as Merry Christmas, which is a merry lie, as today will be sacrificial days for children, for these literal human psychopaths that have no problem grooming children behind closed doors and hiding from you, which is why they tell you you should have freedom of religion. But that Constitution is only a declaration. And in 2025, moving forward, if you do not renounce working with pedophiles, the networks are being exposed. So where I come back to Eel, which I got anointed, I became a minister in January, and I opened up a ministry to end human trafficking in Hawaii. That ministry has expanded because people who are here and alive today also comprehend what I comprehend. You cannot have pedophiles running your government and thinking that you're not under fascism. In Hawaii, we are still occupied and genocide is still being committed because of foreigners who came here with the intention to break all of their treaties and never follow their own laws while destroying the indigenous of Hawaii and rebranding them and repackaging them under the corporation. So when I came back home is when I learned about EO after I was gone for 20 years, learning to become astute, to be creative, to build networks. And I came home and I found out that being Hawaiian is outlawed. Being Kanakamoli meant you were proclaimed extinct by the US government. And finding out that there is a fake de facto pedophile state operating Epstein Island on steroids, using every aspect of their power to continue to do the same thing quietly here as Israel is doing in Palestine. But the US is tied to Britain and the Vatican and is taking lobbying money from the Israelites. But the Zionism that came from not from where I am at, I shall not tolerate. And because we know who is part of the pedophile elite here, we have already made a conscious decision of determination for them. EO. EO is in me. EO is in you. EO is in us. Polynesia. All the way to Africa. That's a big spread of displaced people from where they were born in their homelands because of colonial wars for pedophiles. We all know that those in the World Economic Forum, there's so much evidence that was released to the internet that they had private over the last 4 years, and how they used their militaries and their people to serve their countries, also recruiting ours, which is a war crime. It's not my job not to tell the truth at this point. It's your job to understand the truth and to do something about it wherever you are at. Because kids are getting stolen through the court. And kids are getting stolen off the boats. And kids are getting stolen through the planes. And you're using Hawaii as a human trafficking operation for these adhesion contracts that come from the Crown of England and the Vatican Church. I shall not bow. I shall not bow down to any pedophiles and their biblical gods, because that's where the systemic disgust comes from, of propaganda, stolen ancient wisdom, re-alchemized to fine-tune the new world order adoption. And I don't want to be a part of that. And I don't have to. I don't have to sit in a chair where I already know the research has been performed. The question is your boss a pedophile? Do you get paid by pedophiles? And if you don't know, it's very dangerous for you, because it appears that you support them. And all these public servants somehow don't understand the monetary system. Isn't that fascinating? They don't know how they're a part of it, but they're up there performing it and make people walking through courts, admiralty courts at that, British courts on American soil and Hawaiian soil. All that money system, the entire monetary system of fiat currency is crumbling because it's all associated with pedophiles and private bankers that are pedophiles and religious motherfuckers who are pedophiles. They called us into church. They asked us to obey. And at 31, I started to realize a handful of things. I didn't like it. I started to comprehend things as an adult that I really didn't do as a child, but questioned. Mahalo iyo, because I've been on a search for this journey to be connected and give it some type of description. And the culture of Hawaii is not Christianity. That's where everything went wrong here. It comes from before Christianity. It came before Zionism. In a healthy, conscious, sustainable place of people who actually liked each other. 2025 moving forward is when the change continues. And our people are liberated from their ideologies of propaganda and the ideologies that kill us, like we were groomed to believe we were doing the right thing. The veil is lifted, and we're going to talk about it, and we're going to discuss it. We don't need anybody else intervening. We all get together without everybody else. We all do events. So iyo, mahalo. Because now the awakening starts. Because here in Hawaii, we make our own laws. And at the end of the day, we learn that the laws from somewhere else didn't work for us. And that there is a lot of misinformed people due to the propaganda. And people are going to get educated because the pushback of education is coming. Technology is here. And the Diri list of Hawaii is coming out. This is where the people will be involved. No more deep state puppets on my aina, working behind the scenes for the families who child traffic here, who rape young kids and get them pregnant to sell them, who distort the women here and the men, who destroy families here, who have separated our families for generations. So, yo mahalo, mahalo kia kua no kia la. Thank you for this day. Thank you for the truth. Ua mau ke ea o ka aina I ka pono, they say. The quality of our life changes when we change the quality of our ideology. And from what I understand, it's not been working for our people. And many of our people will never change and transfer over. So why do you continue to pursue your occupation and your ideologies and evangelizing them here? When I lived here growing up before I moved to America and came back, don't worry, America, I got you too. Because those British courts in the state are all fake fucking state motherfuckers. They're all part of the fascism. And you feel it. That's why there's so many First Amendment audits on the internet. Your people feel it, just like my people feel it. Congress has already admitted that the Biden administration is the largest human trafficking operation, so it's not like you have to question what I believe. The question is, my daughter is missing. And how did that happen? The question is, how does a child rescuer's children get taken? And why? Well, that's also coming out in a series. It's already documented. There needs to be no alterations. The proof starts with U.S. Public Law 103-150. That is your first set of receipts. And even those receipts, there was history before that. But the Kanakas and the Polynesians, we handle our own. If we want to appoint different advisors, we can. But at the end of the day, there is no one on my Aina that is going to tell me I'm going to be subservient to some other person's God here. And I am tired of being evangelized to and people coming to our door, whether it's a Mormon, whether it's a Christian, whether it's a Hindu, a Buddhist, none of that is EO. And if religion wasn't such a big thing, then why conquer the world to spread it in a way that you want everybody to believe? Hawaii is a very special place on earth, and for all of you tourists who come here, you may not know, because it's just common practice by this point, that you are also participating in war crimes. The confession from pedophile Bill Clinton and the signatures from that Congress who never ratified the decision, you have no treaty with us. And you broke the treaties that were in place. So what happens when people start to practice their sovereignty and self-determination after 133 years of military and civilian? It's coming into quote unquote our borders because we don't have a wall and we can't annex 2,600 miles. You can only do that amongst treaties. So here in Hawaii, everyone will be retaught who the God of Hawaii is, and throughout Polynesia. It comes before all of this, and we have the evidence. It makes total sense now why when I was calling out some fake God's name and ending every prayer with Amen for Amen Ra, why my prayers weren't answered. But the power of understanding that you have God in you and you can connect without going to church and you can manifest your reality really appeared to me only after the internet and after personal development and after spending 31 cheers. Cheers, cheers, cheers for the Christian church that failed me, that lied to me, that made me praise some pedophile religion and money and schooling and pharmacology. As an adult, I get to choose what I put in my brain. And as Hawaiians, we get to choose what we put in our children's brain. And if you're educators in the state school, you'll be categorized. And there's no immunity for some of these people under their own laws, statutes, rules, policies, declarations. But they are making no mistake. We didn't have a central banking system in Hawaii. We don't need a British court. And Americans, they're not even Americans. They're the immigrants that came to be US citizens. They haven't nationalized to be American nationals. They haven't nationalized to be Hawaiian nationals. I took every single route since I've been home. And next year is the infinity year. It makes 8 years since I've been on this Aina. And I have witnessed and documented and recording so much to let the world see exactly how the PSYOPs works. As the sun rises today, on a day where children are being sacrificed on my lands by pedophiles who brought their gods from elsewhere. And while they remain here, they too will be deported. That is their best option they've got. EO in me, EO in you, EO in us. The Pacific is a very wide place. There is a lot of etherical energy coming from Hawaii, the heart chakra of the world. NASA ain't telling you this. CIA ain't telling you this. The FBI ain't telling you it. All agencies developed by those same elitists. None of that is ours. Our language is completely different. But you made sure you tried to rearrange your little Hawaii and change our ancient tongues so that all of Polynesia could not connect. I came home to so many different factions of the Hawaiian people trying. But it's like Cain and Abel here because of these ideologies. And believe me, I've read the Bible and Revelations. None of that actually even causes me fear anymore, but when I was a child, it did. And to operate by providing fear to people without a clear understanding, or providing a legal system that helps the abuser, and making money off of other people's lands, gold, silver, relationships, and children. You human traffic me. For your God, for your country, for your corporation, and your pedophile elites, whether you knew it or not. You know it now. So I would check yourselves at the door. Because every pedophile's face is coming out here. My job is only to take care of Hawaii. But with my platform, I can take care of the world. And transparency is essential. And comprehension and understanding. And standing on your square as a human who could potentially be in your DNA, which is why they're buying the DNA. I don't give up my DNA. But I can tell you that after I was anointed on Kauai in the Wailua River under Io, every single baptism before that washed off me. And I did come out of that water with golden light and warmth, because we are the generation that does not fail our keke. It's time to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth under EO. These are not our courts. Our people do not have to wait, and a mo'i does not have to wait to provide justice. But as the world watches the entire world restore, because we are able to practice our culture, which the religion has divided us from our spirit and our knowing, we say no to that. Aole, the Heva is the science. The Hakaka is the science. The intention of not stopping and slowing down with the state of Hawaii Corporation and their pedophile elite network. When you go after pedophiles, you should expect backlash. They're fighting for power and control. And every police officer in Hawaii, just know you work for the pedophile. Every judge, every lawyer that is bar, you work for the bar, you work for the British, you work for the English, you don't work for the Americans. You are citizens practicing and acting like you're behaving, that you're following and swearing an oath to an American Constitution that you've never signed. And your ancestors before you, they did the same. You are here only because you were brought in to kill the people here. Take what's theirs to be equally distributed under your democracy. I look out as the sun rises today, and I want to say happy makahiki to those of us who know we are in a season of celebration, who follow the stars, who have ancient wisdom. Let me show you how pretty it is right here. Bam! And the mahina is still out, the moon. Hi, Bill, I see you from Florida. Whitcore, Glagowski, aloha. But anyways, that's my real view, no filters. But this is all under Io. This is Io's realm. And I come to battle on behalf of Io. As we restore our culture and our ancient practices, those who are trusted get invited first. Those who want to kill us, no. We're not invited to the party. This ain't a P. Diddy party. This is literally regrounding yourself back so that you can become really your own sovereign, because you really aren't right now. But anywho, you still have to comprehend some stuff, And a lot of people have known me for a long time, which is why I say, in America, don't you worry. I'll mix them, I should say. I'll mix them. Those American Indians, some of them not American Indians, They're from before that. So, to be united, you have to be honest. And you have to be able to be transparent. And you also have to protect yourself from those who want to go to battle for the future of your children and their legacies. For example, I'm going to share a little information about you, or to you. A lot of people don't know this. One of the wars that I'm battling is a father who proclaimed he was a Christian, who abducted my daughter, who now just turned 15, took her out of Hawaii last summer. We found him. After months of not allowing us to talk, me and my daughter, after her son left him for his abuse, he took her to a different state in America to try to transgender her into a boy. Now, because of the fact that people can go in and out of Hawaii who are US citizens. She was able to leave. But he forgot when he came over here. He went up to the nation of Hawaii and he got issued an ID. And he committed a war crime. And he abducted my child. Which every news story wants to talk to me. I couldn't talk to them without the trust. I couldn't talk to them without the ministry. So I never gave them my story. Because I know what fake news does. And EO guides me. So as I release in 2025 the facts and findings and truths, it's all on video. And I do not back down. If I was wrong, I admit it. But there's too much of the receipts to look at it, to see it for what it is. And all you people in the kingdom, all of you guys, if you're not on the EO, essentially it's kapu. Just like Dubai, they don't allow you to go over there and tell them how they're gonna be. But everybody's so smitten now because they have so much money and they've figured out how to do a lot of things technologically wise that others haven't, that everybody wants to go over there and invest over there. We don't need any more investments over here. All this land pretty much that's been sold through the state is fraud. And every real estate agent should know that. When the podcast goes live, it'll be on a social network that you can only be invited to. It's not for the FBI to get involved or the CIA, like Mark Zuckerberg, who helped to steal an election and hide Hunter Biden's crimes against America. Families that sold out to the cabal while human trafficking children through the border with the fucking cabal. Each of us have to protect our meats and bounds. It's a matter of national security, which I don't see any of these kingdom people talking about, because they're only talking about the lands that they haven't even gotten back yet. And they're still asking the foreign governments for money in the form of grants and businesses, corporations, LLCs, S-corps. The list goes on. Those who get high, they get to the trust level, but they still get their trust under the corporation, which is now insolvent because they were found guilty of being involved as predators of children. Epstein's Island, who was it? Chase Bank? JP Morgan? Question is, why are you guys still doing banking with all of them? It's because you don't know. You don't know the truth either. That's why when I sit down with people, I said, how can you even fight your enemy if you don't even know who it is? They got everybody fighting in factions, and none of them can actually bring it to light because none of them done the work. A lot of people have done work, but zero is zero. For those of me who know me in the background I have, we don't build zero because zero doesn't pay the bills. Everyone in Hawaii knows that I don't earn a fiat dollar. They know it. So did the SEC. The SEC was put on notice that I was going to repatriation to nationalize as a Hawaiian national. But the state of Hawaii and their courts, they all come from the same root of evil. have confidence, more confidence in Trump for America right now. I cannot wait till he's back in his seat. There was never going to be a treaty with Joe Biden and Kamala Harris, not for Hawaii. We don't sign treaties. A treaty isn't a corporate doctrine. And all of those adhesion contracts, there is reparations to be paid, non-recourse. UCC 1-308/4. Go on and on. Mahalo Hawaii for waking up. Mahalo for all of you reporting the criminality happening and the corruption. And mahalo me for comprehending what the fuck is going on here and wanting to do something about it. We don't take money from pedophiles. Period. We don't do business with pedophiles. Period. There is no docking for people who are found complicit in our harbors across Polynesia. The treaties are being signed. All this human trafficking has to end. I stand under EO. I stand with EO. As the DNA to consciousness. They say the truth will set you free. There's an awakening coming. For many, your emotional EQ, they're already labeling everybody as mentally ill. So it's up to you to meditate, to find serenity and peace inside yourself, to navigate these next 4 to 8 years. We are in a new age. Stop hiding it from your children because they've been taking your children for so long. Hollywood knows it. And the elite know it. Kanakamole, survivor. So, what can you do when you find out your Stockholm Syndrome and that you got a birth certificate and how it's being used against you, how it's being used to traffic your own kids, how they're using the hospitals. So that is my share for today, my ike, my manao. Today is a day where I don't celebrate what I used to celebrate because I walked away, because I identified and understand the reality and the outcome of these elites, their perpetual wars and the perpetual trafficking of humanity, while hiding the information from the people who vote them in and or the people who should know so that they can make better choices. All the birds are coming to tell me good morning. Anywho, aloha kako. Have a beautiful and blissful day.